Have you ever wondered why ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca seem to possess an unshakable calm, even in the face of life's greatest challenges? Today, I'm going to reveal 9 profound Stoic secrets that have been tested by over 2,000 years of human experience, principles that can transform your relationship with stress, anxiety, and the inevitable ups and downs of modern life. These aren't just philosophical concepts gathering dust in ancient texts. These are practical, life-changing strategies that you can start applying immediately to develop the kind of mental fortitude that turns obstacles into opportunities and chaos into clarity. If this is your first time on my channel, I ask for your support by subscribing and hitting the like button so I can continue creating content like this in the future. Remember, you are stronger than you think and more capable than you imagine. Don't let others' opinions cloud your vision of yourself. You are unique, valuable, and worthy of love and respect. Before we dive into these transformative principles, let me share a story that perfectly illustrates the power of the Stoic mindset. The story of the unbreakable captain. During World War II, there was a naval captain named James who became legendary not for his victories in battle, but for his extraordinary composure under pressure. While other commanders would pace frantically during enemy attacks, James remained eerily calm, making clear decisions that saved countless lives. After the war, a young officer asked him the secret to his unshakable nerves. Captain James smiled and replied, "Early in my career, I learned from studying ancient philosophy that I could only control 3 things: my thoughts, my actions, and my responses to whatever life threw at me. Everything else, the enemy's movements, the weather, the outcome of battles, was beyond my influence. Once I truly accepted this, fear lost its power over me." This story embodies the essence of Stoic wisdom. True strength comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering your internal responses. Now, let's explore the 9 secrets that can give you this same unshakable inner peace. Secret 1. The power of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Yet most of us live everywhere except the present, replaying past mistakes or anxiously anticipating future problems that may never materialize. The Stoics understood something profound about time. The present moment is the only place where you actually have any power. The past is fixed and unchangeable. The future is uncertain and largely beyond your control. But right now, in this very moment, you can choose your thoughts, your attitude, and your actions. Think about it. When you're genuinely present, anxiety disappears. Why? Because anxiety is always about future scenarios that haven't happened yet. Depression often stems from dwelling on past events you cannot change. But presence is where peace lives. A practical exercise. Right now, as you're reading this, take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice 3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, and 1 thing you can physically feel. This simple technique, called grounding, instantly brings you back to the only moment that actually exists: now. The Stoics practice what they called prososh, continuous attention to the present moment. They understood that a wandering mind is an anxious mind But a focused mind is a peaceful one. When you catch your mind spiraling into worry about tomorrow's presentation or ruminating over yesterday's embarrassing moment, gently redirect your attention to what's happening right now. This isn't escapism. It's the foundation of mental strength. Secret 2. Distinguishing between what you can and cannot control. This is perhaps the most fundamental and liberating principle of Stoicism. Epictetus, who knew suffering intimately as a former slave, taught that all human misery comes from trying to control things that are beyond our influence while neglecting the things that are actually within our power. Here's what you cannot control: other people's actions, words, or opinions, the weather, natural disasters, or economic conditions, the past or the future, your initial emotional reactions to events, aging, illness, or death, the outcomes of your efforts. Here's what you can control: your responses to any situation, your effort and preparation, your values and principles, your perspective and interpretation of events, how you treat others, your daily habits and choices. The magic happens when you fully internalize this distinction. Imagine the mental energy you waste worrying about things completely outside your influence. What if you redirected all that energy toward the areas where you actually have power? The Stoic exercise of dichotomy of control. Every morning, write down your main concerns for the day. Next to each concern, write either "up to me" or "not up to me." For everything in the "not up to me" column, practice consciously releasing your attachment to specific outcomes. For everything "up to me," channel your energy into taking the best possible action. This isn't about becoming passive or indifferent. It's about becoming strategically focused on where you can actually make a difference. As the Stoics said, some things are within our power while others are not. True wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Secret 3. Reframing obstacles as training. One of Marcus Aurelius's most powerful insights was, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't just motivational rhetoric. It's a complete paradigm shift about the nature of obstacles. Every challenge you face is actually a disguised opportunity to develop qualities that would otherwise remain dormant. Job loss forces you to discover inner resources you didn't know you had. Relationship difficulties teach you about patience, communication, and self-worth. Health issues connect you to the preciousness of life and the strength of the human spirit. The Stoics saw obstacles not as punishments or random misfortunes, but as training exercises designed by fate to make them stronger. They called this concept the discipline of desire, learning to want what happens rather than demanding that life conform to our expectations. The obstacle as teacher. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" when faced with difficulty, ask, "What is this situation trying to teach me? What strengths am I being invited to develop?" Consider how athletes deliberately seek physical stress to build muscle. Similarly, Stoics viewed emotional and mental challenges as opportunities to strengthen character. The difficulty isn't the problem. Your resistance to the difficulty is what causes suffering. A reframing exercise. Think of a current challenge in your life. Write down 3 ways this obstacle might be helping you grow, 3 skills it's forcing you to develop, or 3 insights it's offering about yourself or life. This isn't about pretending the challenge is pleasant. It's about extracting value from inevitable difficulties. When you shift from victim mentality to student mentality, everything changes. Obstacles stop being roadblocks and start being curriculum. This single shift in perspective can transform your entire relationship with difficulty. Secret 4. The practice of negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive, but one of the most powerful Stoic techniques for cultivating gratitude and resilience is called premeditatio malorum, the deliberate contemplation of potential losses or setbacks. This isn't pessimism or attracting negative outcomes. It's mental preparation that serves two crucial purposes. It builds emotional resilience for when difficulties actually arise, and it cultivates profound appreciation for what you currently have. The Stoics understood that we often take our blessings for granted until they're threatened. Your health feels invisible until you get sick. Your job seems routine until you face unemployment. Your relationships feel permanent until they're strained. How to practice negative visualization safely. Once a week, spend a few minutes imagining the temporary loss of something you value, your job, your health, a relationship, or even your life. Don't dwell morbidly, but consider how you would adapt and what would remain valuable to you. For example, imagine losing your current job. How would you respond? What skills would you draw upon? What opportunities might emerge from the change? This mental rehearsal doesn't invite disaster. It prepares you to handle whatever comes with greater equanimity. The gratitude effect. After contemplating potential loss, return to appreciation for what you actually have right now. That morning, coffee tastes richer when you remember it's not guaranteed forever. That conversation with your partner becomes more precious when you remember that all relationships are temporary. Seneca wrote, "What is grief but an opinion?" The Stoics learned to hold their blessings lightly, treasuring them fully while accepting their impermanence. This paradox creates both deep appreciation and emotional resilience. Secret 5. Developing emotional intelligence. Through philosophy, Stoics were perhaps history's first emotional intelligence experts. They understood that emotions aren't things that happen to you. They're responses you create through your interpretations of events. Epictetus taught, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." This means you have far more control over your emotional life than you might think. Your initial feeling might be automatic, but your sustained emotional state is a choice. The Stoic model of emotions. External event occurs. You receive criticism at work. Initial impression forms. Automatic thought, "This is terrible." Judgment phase. You decide whether to accept this impression as true. Emotional response. Results from your judgment, not the event itself. The power lies in step 3, the judgment phase. This is where you can intervene with philosophical wisdom. Practical emotional regulation. When you notice a strong emotional reaction, pause and ask, "Is my interpretation of this event accurate, or am I adding unnecessary drama?" What would Marcus Aurelius think about this situation? How will this matter in 5 years? What can I learn from this experience? The discipline of assent. This Stoic practice involves carefully examining your automatic thoughts before accepting them as truth. Just because you think something doesn't make it accurate. You can observe your thoughts like clouds passing in the sky, acknowledging them without being controlled by them. Remember, developing emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing feelings or becoming robotic. It's about responding to life with wisdom rather than reacting from impulse. This creates both inner peace and more effective action. Secret 6. The art of letting go. One of the most liberating aspects of Stoic philosophy is learning the art of letting go. Not through indifference or detachment, but through what the Stoics called preferred indifference. You can care deeply about outcomes while holding lightly to your attachment to specific results. This principle applies to everything from career goals to relationships to your own reputation. You can give your absolute best effort while simultaneously accepting that the final outcome isn't entirely up to you. The athlete's mindset. Olympic athletes exemplify this principle beautifully. They train with complete dedication and compete with total focus, but they understand that on any given day, factors beyond their control, weather, injuries, judges' decisions, competitors' performance, might influence the result. Their peace of mind comes from knowing they gave their best effort regardless of the outcome, letting go of outcomes without giving up on effort. In your career, work with excellence and integrity, but don't tie your self-worth to promotions or external recognition. In relationships, love fully and communicate clearly, but don't try to control others' responses or feelings. In parenting, guide and support your children, but allow them to make their own choices and learn from consequences. In health, take care of your body consistently, but accept that some aspects of aging and illness are beyond your influence. The paradox of letting go. Counterintuitively, when you release attachment to specific outcomes, you often achieve better results. Why? Because you're no longer paralyzed by fear of failure or distracted by anxiety about results. You can focus entirely on the process, which is where your real power lies. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Learning to let go gracefully isn't giving up. It's making space for new possibilities to emerge. Secret 7. Building resilience through voluntary discomfort. The Stoics practice something that might seem strange to our comfort-seeking culture, deliberately choosing temporary discomfort to build mental and physical resilience. They called this training under difficulties. This isn't masochism or unnecessary suffering. It's strategic preparation for life's inevitable challenges. Just as your immune system grows stronger when exposed to manageable stresses, your character grows stronger when you voluntarily practice dealing with difficulty. Modern applications of voluntary discomfort. Physical challenges. Cold showers, regular exercise, occasional fasting, or walking instead of driving when convenient. Social challenges, having difficult conversations, public speaking or saying no when it's uncomfortable but right. Mental challenges. Meditation, reading challenging material, or learning new skills that push your limits. Lifestyle choices. Living below your means, practicing minimalism, or occasionally forgoing luxuries you could afford. The key principle is voluntary choice. You're not seeking suffering for its own sake, but building your capacity to handle discomfort with grace when it arises naturally. The confidence effect. When you've deliberately exposed yourself to manageable discomfort, unexpected challenges feel less overwhelming. You know from experience that you can adapt, endure, and even thrive under pressure. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world, regularly practiced sleeping on the floor and eating simple meals. This wasn't self-punishment, it was training to remain content, regardless of external circumstances. Start small. Choose one minor discomfort to practice this week. Take cold showers for a week. Walk everywhere instead of driving, or give up dessert for a few days. Notice how this voluntary discipline affects your confidence in handling involuntary challenges. Secret 8. Cultivating wisdom through daily reflection. The Stoics were meticulous about learning from experience. They understood that experience alone doesn't create wisdom. Reflection on experience does. This is why Marcus Aurelius kept his personal journal, which became the Meditations, and why Seneca wrote daily letters examining philosophical principles. Daily reflection serves multiple purposes. It helps you process emotions, extract lessons from experiences, identify patterns in your thinking and behavior, and consciously direct your personal growth. The Stoic practice of evening review. Each night, spend 10-15 minutes examining your day. What went well? What am I grateful for? When did I act according to my values? When did I fall short? What emotions dominated my day? Were my reactions proportional and helpful? What did I learn about myself, others, or life in general? How can I apply today's lessons to tomorrow's challenges? Morning intention setting. Each morning, spend a few minutes preparing mentally for the day. What challenges might I face today? How can I respond with virtue if difficulties arise? What kind of person do I want to be today? What's most important for me to focus on? The power of philosophical journaling. Writing your thoughts creates distance between you and your emotions. It transforms swirling mental confusion into clear insights. Many people are surprised to discover patterns they never noticed until they started writing regularly. The goal isn't to become perfect, but to become more conscious. As Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Daily reflection transforms ordinary experiences into wisdom and ordinary people into philosophers. Secret 9. Living according to nature. Your highest self. The Stoics spoke often about living according to nature, but they didn't mean returning to a primitive lifestyle. They meant living according to your nature as a rational, social, virtuous being, becoming the highest version of yourself. This involves understanding your unique talents, values, and calling, while also recognizing your fundamental connection to all humanity. You're both an individual with specific gifts and a member of the larger human community. Discovering your nature. What activities make you lose track of time because you're so engaged? Drays, what values do you hold most deeply, regardless of social pressure? When do you feel most authentically yourself? How are you uniquely positioned to contribute to others' well-being? The 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism. Wisdom. Seeking truth, learning continuously, making good decisions. Justice. Treating others fairly, contributing to community, standing up for what's right. Fortitude. facing challenges with courage, persisting through difficulty, taking necessary risks. Temperance. Practicing self-discipline, living in moderation, controlling impulses, living according to nature means expressing these virtues in your unique way, through your particular talents and circumstances. The social dimension. You're not just an isolated individual pursuing personal happiness. You're part of the larger human project. Your well-being is connected to others' well-being. This perspective creates both meaning and responsibility. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "What brings no benefit to the hive can bring none to the bee." Your personal growth and others' well-being aren't competing priorities. They're complementary aspects of living fully. Integration practice. Each week, identify one way to express each of the 4 virtues through your unique talents and circumstances. This connects abstract philosophy with concrete action, transforming ideas into character. Bringing it all together, your Stoic action plan now that you've learned these 9 ancient secrets, it's time to create your personal plan for integrating Stoic wisdom into daily life. Week 1 to 2, foundation building. Begin daily present moment awareness practice. Start keeping a simple evening reflection journal. Practice the control dichotomy with daily concerns. Week 3-4, deepening practice. Add morning intention setting to your routine. Practice negative. Visualization once weekly. Begin 1 voluntary discomfort challenge. Month 2, advanced integration. Work on reframing current obstacles as training. Develop emotional regulation through philosophical questioning. Practice letting go of specific outcomes while maintaining effort. Month 3 and beyond, mastery. And service. Live consciously according to the 4 virtues. Help others discover Stoic principles through your example. Continue refining and deepening your practice. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. The Stoics called this procope. Continuous advancement in wisdom and virtue. Each day offers new opportunities to practice these principles and build your unshakable inner peace. Conclusion: the timeless path to inner strength. We live in an age of unprecedented external comfort, but widespread internal anxiety. We have more conveniences than any generation in history, yet rates of depression, anxiety, and existential emptiness continue to climb. The ancient Stoics understood something we're rediscovering. True security comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from developing internal resilience. These 9 secrets aren't just historical curiosities. They're practical tools for building the kind of mental strength that allows you to thrive regardless of circumstances. When you master the present moment, focus on what you can control, reframe obstacles as opportunities, prepare mentally for challenges, regulate your emotions through philosophy, let go of attachment to outcomes, build resilience through voluntary challenge, reflect regularly on your experience, and live according to your highest nature. You develop what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable tranquility. This isn't about becoming emotionally numb or indifferent to life. It's about developing such inner stability that you can feel deeply, love fully, work passionately, and engage completely while remaining centered regardless of external turbulence. The Stoics proved through their own lives that philosophy isn't just abstract thinking. It's a way of living that creates extraordinary resilience, wisdom, and peace. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. Seneca navigated political intrigue, and Epictetus overcame slavery. They didn't just teach these principles. They lived them under the most challenging circumstances imaginable. Your circumstances may be different, but your opportunity is the same: to develop the kind of inner strength that transforms obstacles into stepping stones, setbacks into setups for comebacks, and ordinary life into an extraordinary journey of growth and contribution. The path to unshakable inner peace isn't easy, but it's simple. It begins with the next choice you make to respond with wisdom rather than react from impulse. Every moment offers a new opportunity to practice these timeless principles and build the life of depth, meaning, and tranquility that the ancient Stoics knew was possible for any human being willing to do the work. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The power is in your hands. The wisdom is available. The only question is, will you choose to walk this path?" I sincerely hope this message has been helpful. I want to congratulate you for making it to the end of this video. It shows you're committed to personal growth. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment. If you're not sure what to write, just comment "grateful" so I know you watched until the end. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and join our community. Stoicism is full of teachings like these that are applicable to our daily lives. So I encourage you to continue learning about this philosophy. I'm leaving 2 videos full of Stoic wisdom for you to continue your journey. Until next time.